Rev up your engines! All right, it's time to wind things up and put them away and pack all my tools and head back to Tennessee to help people out there. You might notice I got a fleece lined jacket here now. It's 29 degrees here. It's 70 back in Tennessee. So it's time to winter in Tennessee. Last trim of the lawn. Goodbye, ocean. Time to put away the lawn chairs and the fire pit. I got the security cameras all set up and my son's only 10 minutes away. But the neighbors are great. They're here all the time. A lot of them grew up here. Got the garage set up good. You can see all my insulating panels. And my next project is, when I come back in the spring, I'm going to put those cool garage tiles all through the whole bottom. Last thing I got to hear are the church bells. There they go. Right on cue. I don't believe in painting garage floors. You paint them, the tires get hot on the road, they peel off, they come off. If you use that enamel stuff, it takes days to dry, it's messy, and it always ends up peeling off eventually. The ocean's just over there, so it's real humid here, and the humidity gets to them. So I'm going to try those interlocking block tiles, the polyurethane ones, and I'll fill the whole thing. It'll make it a lot nicer. It'll quiet it down even more for sound insulation. Going to be our next thing when I come back in the spring. Because the garage in Tennessee is full of giant dogs and mice that eat the dog food and all my stuff from Houston. It's too much of a mess to even think about doing the floor there. It's just bare concrete. I'll tell you the truth of the matter is I would rather have a bare concrete floor than people paint them and then you paint them over and over and over again. The problem is when the concrete starts to crack, then it looks bad. So those little tiles that you snap together. That's what I'm going to do when I come back in the spring. Like I said, I had fun here. Electric scooter and electric bicycles hiding over there. That one's folded down because it just came out of the trunk. That one's folded up. You can see that one better. And I met a lot of interesting people. Saw some interesting cars. Did a whole bunch of live car talks. It's not going to change. They'll just be in my cellar in Tennessee instead of my cellar here in Rhode Island. Same brains working on it, right? Only I'll be helping people out in Tennessee. So, you got a problem? You can start emailing me, checking your cars out in Tennessee. I'll start setting up appointments there. I like helping people out. You got a serious problem? Maybe you've been screwed over by a dealership. Maybe you're buying a car, you want me to check it out. Hey, send me an email. We can set up a time there in Clarksville. After all, I'm just changing locations. I'm not changing my modus operandi. I'm still out here to help everybody out with their car problems. And I'll be a little bit warmer doing it too. And like I said, I'll still be doing my car talks every Thursday and Saturday, only it'll be Thursday at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, because I'll be in Clarksville, Tennessee, and it'll be Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. It won't be in the cellar here in Rhode Island, it'll be in the cellar in Tennessee. So it's goodbye bulkhead, goodbye shed, and hello Tennessee. It's time for a road trip. Who knows what's going to happen on the way? If you see me, give a wave. The other time coming in, the guy pulled right next up to the highway, and the Subaru waved, took a picture, and took off. And I'm going to be counting those cars, see if there's any real electric cars out there. The last trip I took from Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and back, I saw one Tesla on the road. So I'll keep my eyes out. What's happening on the road? Maybe some crazy stuff will happen, like in New York State, where the coin-operated machine ripped me off twice and didn't give me anything, and they didn't even have any water at the gas stations. Who knows what will happen? It's usually better on the way back to Tennessee, especially when we're going through Virginia. People are pretty friendly there. The sun is rising, and I'm on my way. And here's a good tip. Get up nice and early, you can make time. We've been on the road for an hour and a half. Pretty clear even though we're getting outside New York City. The sun's coming up on the highway. And of course there's always traffic jams on the way. Unavoidable in America, especially on the East Coast. Finally, things open up again. And of course, it has modern electronic tolls. Here they are spying on us. Maybe I'll just buy these 70 acres in Homestead here. Another beautiful sunrise. I don't know what they're talking about, shortage of truck drivers. The only thing I've seen on these roads are giant 18-wheeler trucks everywhere. Well, I'm filling up with gas here in Virginia. What do I notice? Well, my hubcaps fall off. Oh no, well, guess what? Old Scotty's prepared. What do I have inside my little container here? A spare hubcap. Haha. So here we go. Kind of hard to film and put it on at the same time. Now that one snapped on and lined up. It's nice and tight. Well, I knew that was going because it was wobbling for a while, but it took years before it finally fell off. I'll have to order an extra one. Be prepared. Here I am passing through Knoxville, and yes, gasoline is cheaper here. It's about 90 cents cheaper here than it was in the East Coast. Same gasoline, different location. You figured that one out. We're approaching Nashville. If you didn't know it, Nashville is surrounded by hills. We're bypassing the city. There's a giant Opryland Hotel. Biggest hotel in America from what I've heard. It's gigantic. It just keeps going and going. It's a sunny day. Not a cloud in the sky yet. Someone managed to run into somebody and caused a traffic jam. At this speed, we might not make it till tonight. Well, people can wreck cars on broad daylight. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, not a cloud in the sky, is beyond me. All right, I'm back home in Tennessee now. And what did I learn? I saw one Tesla on the highway between Rhode Island and Tennessee, but I saw 5 dead skunks. So I would say you're 5 times more likely to see a dead skunk on the highway than you do a Tesla. And I learned that gasoline is as much as $1 a gallon cheaper in different parts of the country, even though it's the same gasoline. And sadly, I saw more abandoned cars on the side of the road than ever. Kind of reminds me of the Dust Bowl when the Okies were leaving the Dust Bowl and going to California, and they'd abandon their Model Ts on the side of the road. I saw an awful lot of abandoned cars. That doesn't bode good for the economy. And last but not least, if anybody finds the center hub cover that I lost on a Matrix somewhere between Rhode Island and Tennessee, please return it to me. These things are custom wheels and I can't find them anywhere to buy. Luckily I had one spare, but I'd like to have more. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Robson Braga says, Scotty, I'm going to travel for a month. How do I avoid my battery from discharging? Well, if you want, just take the battery terminal off. Either one, and it won't be connected, and it won't get discharged. Guys that are fanatics, they will use these battery savers. You can desulfate batteries and how you can make them last a long time. So that even though you're not using it for a month, it acts like it's discharging it like you would when you start the car, and then it recharges it, and it makes it last longer. And those things are anywhere from 50 to 80 bucks. If you want, you might get one of those, plug it in if you got a garage, and just leave it there. They don't use much power because it's mainly charged up the whole time anyways. They use nickels worth of power or something, and they do work quite well. Or you could just take the battery terminal off. Of course, then when you put the battery terminal on, car's going to have to reset its idle and all that crap, so it's better to get one of these machines, just plug them in. King Kank says, Scotty, which American car manufacturer makes the best vehicles or the least worst car? Well, as it stands today, I'd have to say Ford. The F-150s have always been pretty good trucks, but like with anything else, don't buy the V6 turbocharged stuff. Get a regular V8 naturally aspirated engine. They're made for a good big truck. You get a V6, they just don't last as long. They have 2 turbos, they break and cost a fortune. A plain old naturally aspirated is best. Now people say, but the V6 gets better gas mileage. Yeah, well when your turbos break, there goes your gas savings out the window for 20 years. So you're better to get something that's going to last than a truck and not worry too much about gas mileage because it's a truck. Trucks don't get good gas mileages. Even the EcoBoost ones in real world, when you tow or carry a lot of weight, they don't get that good gas mileage. They rate them when they're empty on a dyno. They don't take them out in the real world, see what real world gas mileage they get on those stupid ratings. So the V8 Ford pickup truck is great. You know, they don't make cars anymore. The Mustang's the only car they make, a sports car, right? Everything else is trucks and SUVs. I guess they realize we can't compete in the car world, so we'll stop making them. Serge Paris says, what do you think of the new Ford Maverick? One, as just a car enthusiast, I'm totally disappointed because it has nothing to do with the old Maverick, which was an economy version car of the Mustang, a cheaper one, and you could put a V8, make them fast. I had a Maverick for years that I bought for $500, drove it all over the place, then sold it to somebody for $250 10 years later. The new ones, they're making these little bitty trucks in Mexico. They're all made in Mexico. And kind of quality, I don't know. Not a fan of anything made in Mexico other than the tequila. They make very good tequila and mezcal. They're good at that, but cars, trucks, nah. And they're supposed to be under $20,000. And I believe it's under $20,000 for a hybrid version. That's a real steal, and if they hold up, it'd be great, you know. I'd wait till they're out a while and see what they actually go like. They've had problems with the Broncos already, and these are pretty much going to be a lot of base the same because they're going to be making them in Mexico like they make some of the Broncos, probably on the same assembly line. So I'd hold back till I actually saw them out there a few years and actually drove them. I tried to contact Ford to get them to give me one to test drove. Then they're going to send me one because because they're afraid of my honest opinion. You know how that goes. One guy said, yeah, Scotty, we'll get you one. And I talked to the guy, and the guy says, oh, no, my manager says you can't get one. I'm like, ha, ha. Yeah, they're afraid of the truth. Somebody really analyzed them. Hey, if I see something that's good, I'll say it. But if I see if it's bad, I'll say it. And they're all afraid of that. Send me one, and I'll honestly test it out. Of course, realize I also don't take advertising money for them, so you can't say, oh, what do you charge to make a video for us? Because I don't charge anything. I don't charge for my videos. I just analyze stuff. You can send me the car, and I'll drive it around, truck for a week, you know, but that's never going to happen. I can guarantee you that. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.